Alright, this is my new stasis build I made for Warlock with the new exotic helmet. Um, Focused on damage phases with Agar's Scepter. You could use it with Divinity, which I did make a strand build using Divinity with it for Nightfalls. But it's also very nice with Agar's Scepter because the Catalyst drains your super energy while you're firing it to deal really big amounts of damage, but the thing is, once your super runs out or the magazine runs out, it the increased damage firing mode ends. Normally you run out of magazine by the time your super is like halfway drained, but with this helmet steadily reloading it, you get your whole super bar of increased damage. And that is pretty much the only thing I'm taking advantage of on this build is the first part, where it steadily reloads your trace rifle, but if you hit a tanky enemy and someone else kills it, you get free special ammo and they get free heavy ammo, so you can't complain about that. I'm using a Lead from Gold Killing Tally Hollow Denial, because the thing about Killing Tally is it's an infinite 30% damage buff after 3 kills with this helmet, because the damage buff only goes away when you reload, and you never have to reload. Lead from Gold is an obvious choice when you're running double special. In fact, I see so many heavy bricks that I often just shoot my heavy into the distance, not aiming for anything, to get rid of some ammo so I can get more ammo for my trace rifle. I'm using it with stasis simply because of stasis shards being able to be created constantly from Aggers, and also because the stasis super is good for ad clear, and then with Agar Scepter you can turn it into a damage super if you want to. So you kind of get 2 supers at once. You could run Bleak Watcher. I actually prefer Ice Flare Bolts with Agar Scepter, but Bleak Watcher could be more useful in like Nightfalls and stuff if you want to take this into Nightfalls. But Agar's freezes stuff so much you don't really need the turret. I'm just running this because it has the fastest cooldown and I managed to hit 100 discipline. The fragments are pretty mandatory. This obviously for Aggers doing increased damage on each shatter during damage phases. This just to get your... Actually, it seems like something messed it up. Yeah. You want this on so you can have your Rift as often as possible, because that's pretty much the only survivability this build has is your Rift and the Overshield from Stasis Shards. Mods, 2 Harmonic Siphons and 1 Void Siphon, so both your Trace Rifles are creating orbs. You can kill stuff with Aggers all day if you're not afraid to run out of ammo for when you need it for damage phases. I tend to use the Hollow Denial more often just because it practically has infinite ammo with Lead from Gold, and it's got a constant 30% damage buff. It melts most red bars, and anytime it's not a red bar, you can just hit them once with your heavy, because you're going to get crazy amounts of heavy ammo. I'm using Grenade Kickstart because I didn't really have anything else to spend my stacks on for this build, so why not just get more Duskfield grenades? Since Duskfield damages stuff so often, you might as well put this on to get more class ability energy. I put, not sure why that's on. You can put 1 reserves for each of your trace rifles on if you want. And you could run it with the new grade trace rifle if you wanted to. It can get reconstruction target lock, so that's a good option as well. But I don't have that, so. Honestly, if you want, you could even slap on 3 stasis surges, just for maximum damage possible during damage phases. Unfortunately, you can't run Mantle of Battle Harmony for that 25% damage boost, because the second you activate Agar's Catalyst, you lose the damage buff. I'm using this because every couple stasis shards I pick up is a free stack, and then can't go wrong with... I haven't had to use this yet, but it's good to have on just in case you do run out of special ammo. But like I said, every time you tag even a even anything above a red bar with one of your trace rifles and an ally kills it, you get a special brick. Using this, just to get orbs for every time I cast a rift. It helps, because I've noticed Bungie changed something. Apparently orbs run away from you now. Like, if you run towards them, they will slowly roll away from you, and if they get going down a hill, they will just keep going, and it's very hard to catch them. Reaper for extra orbs. Like I said, this build, the one thing it's lacking in, really, is survivability. But I will just show how much damage these trace rifles can do. It's probably going to melt the Cyclops when I activate Aegir's Catalyst, but I'll have to get my super first, so I'll just kill stuff with my Hollow Denial. And now we have a 30% debuff, damage buff forever, until you swap off of it. Ice Flares is a much better choice, mainly because you get lots more shards. Like I said, it just melts red bars. If you want, you can put on an orb mod that heals you on every orb pickup, if you feel like you need a bit more survivability. It's a pretty simple build, really. You just kill stuff with Hollow Denial, or whatever other special legendary trace rifle you have equipped, until you need to just instantly delete something with daggers. Yep, figured that would happen eventually with the Cyclops. Like I said, this build doesn't... So one thing it doesn't do all that well is stay alive. But if you're willing to lose out on some of the damage from your stasis weapon, you can put on some survivability mods. Alright. Got the super. Just kill this stuff. Watch how fast this still leads to Cyclops. I mean, if you want, you can waste your super just to kill any yellow bars on the field. It's up to you. You get it back decently fast. But whenever you're done with it, you just hold X and go back to the other one. Tested against the Ogre in Grasp of Avarice. I got up to like 1.4 million with just daggers. And one unload of my heavy after it ran out of super. So it's definitely worth using for ease of use. Like, sure, you can get better damage out of other rotations, but you literally just hold X and unload. That's all you have to do for probably about 1 million damage. But pretty simple overall.